think I learned two things. One is the ability of one person in a family that's going through change to make a difference. You know, in the field of organizational consulting or business decision making, you always say you've got to have consensus to move toward change. And I'm not so sure of that anymore. What I'm thinking more about is one person who's willing to define the problem as the family, not as a person or a situation, who can take a stand and still relate to the people that are attacking them or coming after them, has more of the ability to make change. If they can hold that position, they have one person can make a difference in a family. And they don't have to be the president or the vice president. That is kind of goes against everything I've ever learned about, except through learning Bowen Theory. That one person who can keep relating to the system and take a stand for themselves can make a huge difference in the well-being financially and in relationships in a family. That I keep seeing more and more. I think the other thing I've learned is when you are selected as a consultant to the family, and they often define the problem for you, your responsibility is to define the problem broader in a new way so that people can develop capacity to figure it out with more options. If it's defined as a problem person or a problem branch, you're pretty well limited to what you can do short of shooting them or taking them out. But the idea if you define it as a family systems kind of adaptation to change, there are many more ways to deal with it. And I guess the third thing would be the role of the consultant is that you are entering a triangle. And Bowen has written extensively on the emotional kind of dance of a triangle. Knowing that, you have much more freedom as a consultant to relate to people, to remain neutral, to have a way of living in the system with stature and smarts that gives you a real advantage in living in any social system and social emotional system. And I think, I often, because I'm a friendly person, you want to be liked, you forget the power of coming into a system and how people are trying to pull you to their way of seeing or pull you to the other way and to kind of damn the other side. And I think the ability to stay neutral and not get upset with no matter what the other side does, but to describe it, think about it, is a real resource to people. And they can pick up on that. And it takes a long time to be able to see the bigger system evolving. And more, I think that these problems in families come around major changes and in the evolution of the family. The founder is growing older, the kids are growing, more babies are being born, marriages, divorces, deaths that can really upset the family much more so than business changes. And that the family's adapting to that in ways that's out of their understanding.
Pretty good answers.